what I wanted to start with was maybe to give you the opportunity to give us a few examples of the kind of emergency situations that you might deal with, and the kind of stress that you would be under in those circumstances, so that we have that context there. And I mean, situations that, emergency responses, let alone what's happening right now, right? Like, we can't even fathom how some doctors are dealing with what's going on right now. But tell us what a typical day in the office for you might look like, and what you're training people to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Typical day in the office is a fun way to say that. I mean, first off, I'm happy to share some stories about that. But I think that more important than sort of the craziness that I go through sometimes is the idea that ER doctors or not, all of us face emergencies in our lives, and we might not face them every day, but we will face them. And these moments, and if you think back in your own life, or if you're listening to this in your own life, you think about the times that were the most sort of pivotal in your existence. Those are probably emergencies in one way or another, right? Emergencies are the things that are the climax of the movie, right? They're the times when like things are really gonna just skew off and change the entire course of your existence. And so when I think about emergencies, what we're talking about is situations that have really three aspects to them, right? So there's uncertainty, which is that we don't know what's going to happen and we don't know what the right action to take is. There's impact, which is that whatever happens in this situation really truly matters, right? Like if you're standing in line to get a coffee and you're not really sure which kind of coffee you're going to choose, back when we used to stand in line in places for coffees and things, there's uncertainty, but that's not really impactful in any deep, meaningful way. And the third thing is that there's pressure on top of all of this. So you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision now. And if you don't make a decision now, then things go completely off the rails. So pressure, uncertainty, and impact, that's really what defines an emergency. If you look through the situations that we find ourselves in the emergency department, right now, what we're all geared up for, of course, is the COVID-19, the corona epidemic, pandemic, excuse me. And a lot of these decisions we're having to make are really complicated decisions about sort of what support is the best to give somebody when they're really crashing. So a patient might come in and they're having a lot of trouble breathing, and you might not exactly know, hey, is their breathing going to get better with some treatment, or is it going to get immediately worse? Should I put them to sleep and put a breathing tube in and take over breathing for them? These are big life and death decisions, right? There's huge amounts of impact. If you get it wrong, the patient dies. There's a ton of uncertainty, both in terms of what happens for this patient and then in general as we're sort of learning this disease as humanity. And then there's the pressure of, if you don't make a decision right now, you might not get another chance to make that decision a few minutes later.
Yeah.